The oath of allegiance, in the United States is defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What does that mean exactly?
Well, if you study what the word Constitution means, Constitution always means laws, land, and people. So when they say they're going to defend the Constitution, they're going to. It's specific to a specific group of people, it's a specific group of law, and a specific land. So they're not that oath of allegiance does not encompass all of America. It actually is specific to even though all of America is going to benefit ideally, but it's specific to government land. That oath, it's specific to land of the government. That's for example, when Lincoln went to Fort Sumter at the outbreak of the Civil War between the states, he said, "I go to I can't remember if it's Virginia or whatever, Fort Sumter." He's going specifically to Fort Sumter. He's not going to the South. He made it very clear that he was going to Fort Sumter because that was land of the United States, and that he had a duty to defend Fort Sumter. If that helps make it understandable.
Yeah, a little bit. I know people are going to ask, okay, well, when you mean the land of the United States, isn't that all 50 states? Isn't that the land of the United States?
Well, when you read...
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
When you read in law, it says the 50 states. It's only referencing land that is considered owned by the United States in the 50 districts. Like one district is Nebraska, another, I can't remember. I think Nebraska district is called 102, I think, in the United States Code. Florida is like 58 or something like that. I can't remember. But all it is referencing is like in district number 102 is called Nebraska, and the only land in that area, in that district, that is actually truly United States land, or considered United States, is land that's owned by the government. So they have jurisdiction, and they have authority and permission and specific responsibility to govern that land. And part of that governance is protection. And the reason that land is set apart is for a military purpose. So in each district, a little bit of land is supposed to be set apart to help utilize the overall protection of all of America, all of the Confederacy is supposed to work together. But our country is not the United States. Our country is free people. It's a free it's a nation, generally called America. The United States is a military aspect of America. So we don't ever want to get confused in thinking that our nation is the United States. That's not true. The United States is a military aspect of America, of the American free people. Okay, go ahead.
And I know other people are going to be very interested in this, is that, so the Constitution, when the founders were wording the Constitution, it was basically for the military, and is that what you're saying? That this is all a free land, but the Constitution was basically for the military and that's it? Or was it for the people?
Well, when the United States Constitution was put together, let's say, for example, that Nebraska was purchased and Louisiana purchased. At that moment, it was governed completely by the United States written law. Now, after a certain amount of time, the government's supposed to sell off the land. It's generally 5 years. They're supposed to only retain land that's going to be retained for a military purpose. And in Nebraska, that's been 1.4%. So people have to learn, don't have to, but it's much more beneficial for society if they learned that the United States courts in Nebraska, for example, only governs the activity on that 1.4%. But see, this is the intrusiveness of the United States courts. And the United States is intruding and reaching far beyond their scope, and they're taking away the authority of the what's supposed to be remain in the authority of the people. Becoming very intrusive. You're having people like, for example, one man in jail here in Florida, he had an ounce and a half of marijuana with him. They kept breaking into his house, so he went and got a gun. And the cop came in one time, and they found the marijuana in the gun. So instead of just being charged with having an ounce and a half of marijuana, he's getting charged with an ounce and a half of marijuana and a gun. So they hike that up to 25 years in jail. Just insane. Now, no common law jury that I knew of would ever even consider doing that, because there's no evidence that he was a drug dealer. There's no evidence that he was using a gun for criminal activity or anything. But the United States written law, these attorneys apply the written law to that land illegally without authority. And this man is facing 25 years in jail. Now, what I'll do is we'll put together a declaratory judgment. We ask the people that assemble these written laws to declare where the law that they're applying applies. That we're going to force them to declare that law applies at that location, which they're not going to be able to do. So he should be able to get his case dismissed, and it'll save him possibly 10, 15, 25 years in jail. Mm-hmm. Very important. This government the United States is completely out of control. It's insane that they have people going to jail for 10, 20 years for having a little bit of marijuana with them. Doesn't hurt anybody. People are going to say that's crazy.
This call is from the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
They're going to say somebody's crazy if they think marijuana doesn't harm people, but there's no evidence that use of marijuana, even though I've never even been in a room with somebody smoking marijuana. There's no evidence that casual use of marijuana does any damage to anybody. It's just crazy what this United States government is doing. It's a money-making thing to throw people into jail right and left for these little bits of drug here and there. And the Bible doesn't tell us to throw anybody in jail for taking any drug. The only time you're supposed to be punished in the Bible is when you actually do harm to another man. Mm-hmm. You can smoke all the marijuana you want in the Bible. God might not be pleased with it, but he doesn't call it criminal. Can you ask me a question now?
Okay. Real quick here, so that I can sum this aspect of this up. So are you saying that the small piece of land that the government should legally owns, that are you saying that outside of that, the people are supposed to organize their own court home, their own courthouses, their own police groups, their own quote-unquote laws in their communities, or at least based on the biblical principles? Is that what you're saying? And that the federal government's only there for maybe support? Could you explain that?
Yeah, the federal government is always supposed to be a good neighbor to the people. We know that because it's the people gave them the permission and the authority and basically the funds and the resources to do the military job that's been given to them. So they're supposed to maintain a good relationship with the people, of course. If they don't, if they violate the Constitution, the people have complete authority to strip them of their power and put new people in there to accomplish what they wanted done. But yes, when activity is found to be in question in the society that's not of government land, United States owned land, it's supposed to go to the community court, and the community court is supposed to apply biblical standards.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
In all ways to the court, and the United States written law is not supposed to apply in any way at all. Now, you can use the United States courts as a good neighbor. They can allow you to use their system and their courtroom and their recording systems and their clerks for a small fee. That's perfectly permissible, and that's why the Seventh Amendment is in the U.S. Constitution.